Please rise in body or spirit and join me in the hymn Woyaya, which is number 1020 in the teal hymnal. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Woyaya, 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 ya, ya, woyaya, ya, ya, woyaya, ya, ya, woyaya, ya, ya, ya. You may be seated.
Good morning. Welcome to this Sunday service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Durham, North Carolina. I'm Reverend Daniel Trollinger, Executive Minister, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race or gender identity, whomever you love, wherever you are in your spiritual journey, we welcome you here. If you're new to this community, especially if you're visiting for the first or second time, we invite you to rise and body your spirit so we may give you a warm ERUUF welcome. Thank you for choosing to spend your morning with us. And if you're watching on the live stream, please introduce yourself in the chat. If you have children or youth with you, they are invited to attend one of our religious exploration classes that are held in the Care Building as the children are sung out after the story for all ages. We also invite you to the fellowship hour with tabling and coffee in the fellowship hall right after the service. The ERUUF Literary Journal is still accepting submissions until the end of this month. Literary Journal at eruuf.org. Spiritual Odyssey continues at 9 a.m. every Sunday. Every summer, a series of ERUUFians present their personal journey. It's a really good program. Reverend Jacqueline and Reverend Jim will both be back in August. Special music today is provided by Paul Behrman and the Susie Singers. Additional thanks to the paper hand puppet intervention and our ERUUF Puppeteers who will join us shortly. Now would be a good time to silence any devices on your person. And let us center. Open to the gifts of this day. Let us begin. Our opening words come from Reverend Dr. David Breeden, minister of First Unitarian Society in Minneapolis, recipient of the Humanist Distinguished Award 2023.
Here's your chance. A work of art is a chance to rework the wounds of time, of self.
A work of art is a shot at getting a true image, a right symbol, a just world.
At the frayed edges, artists swirl, loving, intricate spirits searching.
Every work is a shot at getting it right.
Meaning the world, just, true, at least in the eclectic swirl of the artist's mind.
We light this chalice to celebrate the creative spirit within us and all around us.
May we kindle this chalice to remember all of our gifts and commit to imagining, building, painting, singing, dancing them to life.
May we find the courage to work together to co-create a more just and equitable world and embrace creative ways to live into the promise of the future. Let us now sing together. Judy will lead us in hymn.
Please join me in hymn number 347 in the gray hymnal as we rise in body or spirit. Now it's time to greet your neighbors, please.
We're having a little prop moment back here. Today's service is on the creative spirit, and to honor this theme, we welcome the gifts of several of our members who will share words, music, and movement as a way to embody and express the creative spirit. We also, as you have seen, have an appearance with some puppets, and special thanks to the Paperham Puppet Intervention and Paul Behrman for coordinating some of the dramatic and creative aspects of our service this morning. The order of service has shifted slightly to allow the children to be present for the puppet portion before we have this heading off to spiritual exploration classes. I invite you to relax, open, and appreciate the different elements all coming together in an organic way. We will now begin with an adapted reading from poet laureate and beloved author Maya Angelou.
We, this people, on a small and lonely planet, traveling through casual space, past aloof stars, across the way of indifferent suns, to a destination where all signs tell us it is possible and imperative that we learn a brave and startling truth.
And when we come to it, to the day of peacemaking, when we release our fingers from fists of hostility and allow the pure air to cool our palms, when we come to it, when the curtain falls on the minstrel show of hate and faces sooted with scorn are scrubbed clean.
When battlefields and Colosseum no longer rake our unique and particular sons and daughters up with the bruised and bloody grass to lie in identical plots in foreign soil. When the rapacious storming of the churches, the screaming racket in the temples have ceased.
When the pennants are waving gaily, when the banners of the world tremble stoutly in the good, clean breeze, when we come to it, when we let the rifles fall from our shoulders and children dress their dolls in flags of truce, when landmines of death have been removed and the aged can walk into evenings of peace.
When we come to it, then we will confess that not the pyramids with their stones set in mysterious perfection, nor the gardens of Babylon hanging as eternal beauty in our collective memory, not the Grand Canyon kindled into delicious color by western sunsets. These are not the only wonders of the world.
When we come to it, we, this people, on this wayward floating body, created on this earth, of this earth, have the power to fashion for this earth a climate where every man and every woman can live freely without sanctimonious piety, without crippling fear.
When we come to it, we must confess that we are the possible, we are the miraculous, the true wonder of this world. That is when, and only when, we come to it.
I invite the young in body, the young in heart, to come down for the story for all ages. Lots of room on the floor here. You can come up close to the puppets. Come on down. So this story is called, What Do You Do with an Idea? One day, I had an idea. Where did it come from? Why is it here? I wondered. What do you do with an idea? Yeah, that's right. You think about it. That's good. Yeah, you do it. You do the idea. At first, I didn't think much of it. It seemed kind of strange and fragile. I didn't know what to do with it. So I just walked away from it. I acted like it didn't belong to me. But it followed me. I worried what others would think. What would people say about my idea? I kept it to myself. I hid it away, and I didn't talk about it. I tried to act like everything was the same as it was before my idea showed up. But there was something magical about my idea. I had to admit, I felt better and happier when it was around. It wanted food. It wanted to play. Actually, it wanted a lot of attention. It grew bigger. And we became friends. I showed it to other people, even though I was afraid of what they would say. I was afraid that if people saw it, they would laugh at it. I was afraid they would think it was silly. And many of them did. They said it was no good. They said it was too weird. They said it was a waste of time and that it would never become anything. And at first, I believed them. I actually thought about giving up on my idea. I almost listened to them. But then I realized, what do they really know? This is my idea, I thought. No one knows it like I do. And it's okay if it's different and weird and maybe a little crazy. I decided to protect it, to care for it. I fed it good food. I worked with it. I played with it. But most of all, I gave it my attention. My idea grew and grew, and so did my love for it. I built it a new house, one with an open roof where it could look up at the stars, a place where it could be safe to dream. I liked being with my idea. It made me feel more alive, like I could do anything. It encouraged me to think big and then to think bigger. It shared its secrets with me. It showed me how to walk on my hands. Because, it said, it's good to have the ability to see things differently. I couldn't imagine my life without it. Then one day, something amazing happened. My idea changed right before my very eyes. It spread its wings, took flight, and burst into the sky. I don't know how to describe it, but it went from being here to being everywhere. It wasn't just a part of me anymore. It was now a part of everything. And then I realized what you do with an idea. You change the world. So have any of you had a good idea that you can change the world with? Yeah? Maybe you will one day, yep. Yeah. What's yours?
I have a baby in my belly.
You do? Wow. Excellent. Okay, good. All right, well, thank you, children. And it's time to go to religious exploration. So we're going to sing you out. Thank you.
Please join me now in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Spirit of life, we celebrate the joy of coming together in creative community on this day. We celebrate the gift of words and stories, music and movement, heart and soul, teaching, inviting, even calling us to action. We celebrate beloved community, all of us, just as we are, welcoming, accepting. And we remember. We remember the power of words to inspire, encourage, and heal. We remember our collective commitment to engage actively in the practice of racial justice. We remember people all the world over who have been forgotten, who are marginalized, who are in crisis, and may have lost hope. In particular, we remember children everywhere, that they may know that they are supported and loved. As a people who care for one another, we lift up all of our prayers and blessings. And we hold in our hearts Mike McLeod, who has just been diagnosed with brain cancer. He requests prayers or cards, but no calls at this time. We hold in our hearts Pam DeLavore and her family, as her father passed this week after a long illness. She is thankful for all of her ERUUF friends and beloved community who have been holding her in their hearts during this hard time. We remember all those in our community and in our own families who suffer, who mourn, who face the everyday difficulties of life. May they find comfort, hope, healing, and strength. In a spirit of unity and compassion, together we breathe and listen, and we lift up all of our prayers, feelings, and blessings in a moment of silence. and so it is. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be. If you were asked to find your creative spirit, where would you look? Maybe if you already have some regular creative expression, you would have a place to start. But what if we don't have a regular creative outlet? How do we find our creative spirit? Google it? YouTube? Amazon? 10 ways to find your creative spirit or something like that? Maybe. But steps are not the same as the creative essence within. We can take tangible steps to discover the creative, sing, dance, paint, cook, garden, decorate. But there is an elusive, ineffable quality to the creative spirit. Let's explore this together. So if you have not been on a silent retreat in a remote cave in the past 2 weeks, you are probably aware that this weekend is a premiere of 2 very different movies. Oppenheimer, an intense 3-hour historical drama about the making of the first atomic bomb, and Barbie about, well, I'm not sure exactly what it's about. But in the massive media blitz in the run-up to the Barbie movie, in addition to pink things everywhere, there is this clip of Ryan Gosling, who plays one of the Kens in the movie. In this interview, he is asked how he found his inner Ken, or Kenergy, for the role. Keeping a completely straight face, he says, "It was there all along. It's like Wi-Fi. It's all around you. You know it's there, you don't see it, but you know it's working." Then he turns to the reporter and says, "You have it in you. I can feel it. Just know you are Ken-enough." So while this might be a timely, albeit strange metaphor, similarly, all around us and within us, like Wi-Fi or Kenergy, is the creative spirit. We just have to trust, open, and allow it to come forward into our awareness. But how? How do we find it? The word creativity or creative spirit can evoke images of gifted individuals honing their craft, producing works of art that enrich the world. But this narrow view of creativity as a solitary pursuit is incomplete. While there may be some overlap, there is a distinction between artistic expression and creative spirit. There is a profound depth to creativity that extends beyond the individual and into the very essence of our being. Viewing creative spirit through a wider lens reveals it as a dynamic force that animates all living beings on the planet, connecting us in ways we might never have imagined. Tenzin Wangyal Rinpoche draws on the ancient wisdom of the Tibetan Bon Buddhist tradition. He writes, "We are all creative. The kind of creativity I'm talking about is not just a quality possessed by the artist or the gifted few. It is a capacity that we all possess, a flow of energy that arises naturally from within, enlivening every aspect of our existence." He continues, "Creativity is the sacred fire that ignites positive change for ourselves, for others, and for the world. Our very nature is creative, and humankind has evolved because of this." Now, when seen from this expanded perspective, creativity is not merely a fleeting spark of inspiration. It becomes a way of living spontaneously from a sacred space within each of us. It arises from the source of infinite potential and positive qualities such as love, compassion, and joy that reside deep within. When we tap into this wellspring of creativity, we find that every form of expression that emerges has the power to heal us and touch others. Creativity at its heart is not a pursuit of self-indulgence, but rather a path of service to the greater good. Imagine with me, imagine a world where every individual embraces their creative spirit, using their unique voice and gifts to make a positive impact on the lives of others. In this vision, creativity becomes a force that unites us, transcending boundaries of culture, language, and belief. It becomes a universal language that communicates the deepest aspects of our shared humanity, fostering understanding and empathy. The first step to finding our creative spirit is openness. Opening to curiosity, opening to wonder. This is the source of the creative spirit. How can we cultivate openness and curiosity in our daily life? Well, there's so many ways, and there's also so many forms that creative spirit can take. There's gardening or cooking or problem solving or team building, artistic endeavors, much, much more. How can we engage imagination to welcome new ideas and experiences? Remember the story from earlier today. Where does an idea come from? Where does it go? How do we treat it? Imagination, creativity are key qualities that activate the creative spirit. But sometimes there's obstacles in the way, obstacles of our own making. Limiting beliefs about our own creativity, whether this stems from childhood or later, means we can sometimes carry disempowering stories about what we can and can't do, what we're good at or not. My own version of limiting beliefs about my creativity is dancing. Not my strong suit. If you asked me to find my creative spirit, I would not start looking up dancers and dance moves. So what does it take to move beyond our limitations? Willingness, openness, maybe a catalyst. Imagine my surprise when I exercised a small amount of openness to an invitation to join a dance at the installation for Reverend Brett last February. If you had told me a year ago that I would be dancing with ERUUF staff and members to Uptown Funk in the Fellowship Hall, I would have said that is not possible. Well, what changed? I offered just a small amount of openness, and I said yes to an invitation, the catalyst of someone who invited me into the dance. Pulled me into it might be more accurate, but it took me out of my comfort zone, and in the process, a sense of freedom and joy emerged. So this is where we are today. Would you be willing to offer a small amount of openness to an invitation? No worries, I'm not going to invite you to dance. But what about exploring the creative energy that's within you? A small step of openness to new ways of seeing and doing. Here's the invitation. Today, or this week, imagine what it would be like to explore one form of creative expression. Drawing with pen, pencils, or marker. Singing or playing an instrument. This could be as simple as singing along to your favorite song. Dancing or free movement to music that makes you feel alive. Writing a short poem, maybe a haiku. Why? Why? What could come of taking a small step of creative practice? Well, for one, creative practice can become spiritual practice. A few years ago at ERUUF, there was a series of classes offered as part of Wednesday Connections. For several sessions, I facilitated a class called Art and Spirit. This was based on work I had created before coming here, and basically involved of creativity in some art media, watercolor, collage, mandala drawing, painting, etc., as a way of engaging spiritual practice. And here's how it worked. During the small project creation time, maybe 20 or 30 minutes, there was silence, except for occasional background music. The invitation was to engage meditation through creating. Then we would gather and share our creations and experiences of the process. There was always a moment in these sessions where someone would report moving beyond their self-perceived limitations into a new sense of freedom to create for the sake of creating, to make a mistake or a mess, or communicate something meaningful without words. Or that aha moment of creating something from nothing, pleasantly surprising ourselves at what comes forward. This process is very easy to recreate at home. To make it a spiritual practice, though, you have to set the table for that. No distractions, interruptions, phone has to be off. Just find some simple supplies, pen, pencil, markers, crayons even, paper, meditative music. And take 20 or 30 minutes without interruption, with an intention to center, listen, and allow. Then begin to create. Fill the page. If you're hesitant or not sure where to start, find something to trace as a large circle on the page. A plate works well. Then be present to the circle. Outside the circle, the line inside the circle. Then begin. Fill the circle with lines, color, shape, anything that comes forward. This simple mandala practice can open up a new space of awareness within. In that space, there's stillness, movement, light, feeling, knowing, expression, and an invitation to go deeper into the circle, into the very act of drawing, into a place of wisdom within. All aspects of the creative spirit. The very act of drawing becomes a meditation. In fact, in preparing for this service, ironically, I was feeling blocked creatively. Other parts of the work of ministry at a large congregation were drawing my attention, and I couldn't quite connect with the very thing we are exploring today. So I pulled out a blank sheet of paper, and I did this process several times. Now, for a scientific perspective, the simple act of engaging in creative activity, even for a short time, activates different parts of the brain. If we then step back into the habitual way that we operate in our life, there is the potential to be in that space with full brain engagement. Right side, intuitive; left side, linear, rational. This balance, this full engagement, is another way to cultivate openness, for it opens us to a possibility of heart and mind synergy. So why? Why get out tools to draw, doodle, or mandala? Yes, it does help to balance different parts of our brain, body, and being, which then creates the potential for different kinds of opening. Opening to insight, inspiration. Opening to listening beyond literal words. Opening to a space of allowing and knowing. I have experienced this opening in creative meditation work alone at my kitchen table and also in group settings with others. How could something so simple shift our perspective and awaken the creative spirit? I invite you to try it more than once. What might emerge from a short time with creative spiritual practice? Every day? Once a week? Once a month? Maybe putting on music or movement in some form is more suited to you. Good. Find the way, the space to engage your heart, mind, body. The spiritual practice of opening, creating, listening, allowing. This is the path to finding the creative spirit. Maya Angelou writes, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have." It is not a finite resource. Rather, it is an infinite wellspring of potential just waiting to be tapped. Openness is the core of our creative spirit, the source of which all of our positive qualities flow. It is a light that guides us through a world seemingly overwhelmed by chaos and conflict. Openness calls us to nurture the flames of our creative spirit, to bring warmth and illumination to those around us. The invitation, though, goes beyond just encouraging us to shine individually. It calls for a collective radiance that lights up the world, providing a welcoming sanctuary for those who may feel lost or marginalized. When we engage the creative spirit and co-create together in community, we offer solace in suffering to those who are navigating difficult times. Together, we can co-create a more compassionate and harmonious world where the power of collaboration animates ideas into transformative realities. Co-creation is a shared process of creativity and community. It calls us to seek out diverse voices and perspectives, recognizing that in unity, our creativity flourishes. As we unite our hearts and mind in the pursuit of shared visions, we transcend individual limitations and unlock the boundless potential that collaboration holds. Here, in this fellowship, how can we embody our commitment to racial equity and inclusion, to families, children, and youth, to earth justice and addressing climate change? In a world yearning for justice and compassion, how can we come together as a community to co-create and enact meaningful change? As we harness the power of creative collaboration, we sow the seeds of justice and compassion, nurturing them to grow and blossom for all. How might this show up at ERUUF? In our Sunday services, our classes, our meetings? awakening the creative spirit, how might we co-create shared ministry here together? Today, we have Puppeteers woven with music and reading, thanks to Paul, who is a living example of collaborative creative spirit. Truly, when we originally talked about this service, we each had some different ideas, so we listened, came together, and co-created. And it evolved over time. I learned so much from him in this process. Very grateful. The path of collaborative co-creation beckons us to step beyond our comfort zones, to embrace the unfamiliar, and to discover the beauty of harmonizing different perspectives. Each brushstroke, each word, each note is woven into the collective symphony of change, where creativity serves as a guiding force towards a more inclusive and harmonious world. This fellowship needs our unique contributions, each of us and all of us. The heart of creativity is service, using our gifts to ignite positive change for ourselves, others, and for the world. As we delve into the depths of the creative spirit, we will find that it is intricately intertwined with the fruits of the spiritual life: wholeness, openness, trust, courage. These qualities bloom like flowers, enriching the whole self and spreading their fragrance to touch the lives of others. As we engage the work of collaboration on this shared ministry, we can realize the true potential of our creative spirit together. May it be so. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be. It takes a lot to keep a large congregation running. Thank you all for your ongoing support and generosity. Please place your tangible gifts in the offering plate as passed around, or there's a card in the pew that you can scan to go digitally. Thank you.
I am that great and fiery force, sparkling in everything that lives, in shining of the river's course, in greening grass that glory gives. I shine in glitter on the seas, in burning sun, in moon and stars, in unseen wind, in verdant trees. I breathe within, both near and far. And where I breathe, there is no death, and meadows glow with beauty's rife. I am in all the Spirit's breath, the thunder's word, for I am life.
We give thanks for the many gifts that support the building and sustaining of this thriving community. Judy will now lead us in our closing hymn.
Please rise and body or spirit, and join us in hymn number 1017 in the Teal Hymnal. And we'll build a new way together. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
Our closing words come from Leslie Takahashi. On the brink. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create: a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life that we share. May it be so. Go in peace. Go in love.